Okay.
All right, so we are back here with game number one of this best of three set between Team Suprememe and Team Oxygen. I'll give the name another try. Sorry about the start. Also be certified taking the first death there. But yeah, sorry about those sound issues. Sometimes we've got a lot of things to switch over, and I also don't like giving you guys the countdown, so I have to turn the sound on after that. So that's probably why we had the little bit of a bump on the road there. But we are back into game number one here between Team Supreme Meme and Team Oxygen. I'm Pythian, he's Gems, and I guess we'll kind of skip on introducing the heroes just because we already have so much bloodshed already. So already looking at this match, Gems, what stands out to you the most?
Well, certified dying in that early game is gonna be a bit tricky. He's on the rampage, which is kind of different from what he does normally, and the team comps are looking. It looks like Chimera has been banned, and it. Well, yeah, I can tell Chimera's been banned, but who else has been banned? We don't know. And the team comps are looking pretty even across the board because Cert's on that rampage that he's not normally on, and Topflit's on a mage.
Yeah, I definitely long for the day where we can have drafts that we can commentate on, see inside of the Paragon game. Definitely will be a glorious day for the community when that happens.
Yeah, it's going to be good, and the early game advantage has already gone over to Team Supreme,
That's
and
close.
it's pretty close. And it's going to be a really close game, I reckon, because both teams have got a huge number of stacked, strong players on them. With Nadosic and Godspeed in that duo lane, they're going to be looking for these early game kills. And Marty, on that steal, it's going to look pretty good.
Yeah, Talkflick getting a little bit far in here, but he's not playing the Fang anymore. He's actually playing a Gideon. So he uses the portal to get away from the Fang Mao, who already used his traverse earlier to try to catch up the distance. So Gideon manages to get away from that fight. And everyone stays alive for now, but we might not see that anymore. Still a lot of aggression going around the map. Some good rotations early. And as we can see with the kill on Rampage, I mean, he's not the squishiest guy on the map, but they still managed to get that kill. So definitely some good early game aggression from Team Supreme Meme.
Yeah, I love what Cert's done with his start to try to keep himself alive. He's gone for the healer token, so Rampage is not the strongest laner, but if he's got that regen running, he can sit there and farm, hopefully without having too much more trouble in lane. So he can get to the card point advantages just that he really likes to have.
Well, that death is certainly not going to help him, but playing against a Fae, um, it's interesting to have a Rampage against that because like Faye's pretty known for the harass damage in lane. So Rampage did go for the constant regen like you said, but Faye has a lot of ways to get through that. Now there's going to be a smashing grab that misses from late, and that's a rare miss from him. And she's also going to put the plant down, but I think there might be enough melee damage. They want to chase her. One more hit. They managed to get it. B-Cert, he's going to come back in that lane and take the kill.
Yeah, that's Leighton doing what Leighton loves to do on this jungle. He just loves to punish every single person who pushes up slightly. He likes to get the early game aggression. He likes the ganks on Grux. He loves using that smash and grab just to get as many kills as possible, and then transition that lead he gets into the team fights later on. And as we can see it, farming wise, Oxygen doing slightly better, managed to get that farm rolling on their carries, and it's Cameron doing extremely well in his farm, sitting at 25 points already at 5 minutes.
Oh, Fang Mao, he's putting so much hurt on the Leighton. Howitzer here, pulls him back, hits him with a blast, and Leighton, well, he's definitely not having the dominant game that he has in the last one. He's doing extremely poorly in this match. Definitely not the dominant Grux that we've seen in the past games.
Yeah, he's sitting on 6 points and he's a bit behind currently. He hasn't been able to get any of those kills. He's only got the assist, so he hasn't hit that 9 point marker. And it's going to be a bit punishing because in the 20 seconds, there's going to be that black buff coming up. And he's going to want to be there to take those fights, but he hasn't hit level 5.
Yeah, a couple heroes will be hitting level 5 pretty soon. We've got the Steel and Gideon already up there, but 3 heroes for Team Supreme Meme looking pretty good on that level. Both all the Howitzer, Fang Mao, and Fei have their ultimates, and I think the biggest ones there are the Howitzer and actually all of those. Like they combo extremely well, and it's definitely a great idea to have those ultimates up early.
Yeah, the ultimates, they're going to really need it. Godspeed really needs to hit that level 5 before they get the black, but it's a free black buff to Team Oxygen, and that's going to be something they really needed right now.
Yeah, the black buff giving them a chance to get back into this game a little bit. It also perhaps gives them an avenue to deny it from Team Suprememe. So if they can control some of these objectives this early, not so great start from them, it might kind of start to disappear pretty soon.
And Feng doing a little bit of sneaky Feng things steals the blue buff away from Team Oxygen. That's quite big because Top Flip on the Gideon's going to want that blue buff to have long sustained fights, and he's not going to be able to get it now. Left lane, it looks like they're going to try go for this tower with the black buff on our Cameron.
Yeah, as you say, you want to just kind of siege it out with the black buff. They put in the creep that's low first, and Leighton just kind of runs up there. He doesn't have the black buff. That one's on the rampage, so they want to take it, and it's going to take quite a while for them to do so. Beastert, he's on level, he's on his ultimate, and he just wants to take the tower down as fast as possible, but he might be trading his life for it. Steel comes in, gets a nice ult. Now Beastert, he's forced to go away though. He's going to regen a little bit, but Nado sick. Nada dead, man. He's actually trying to fight this. Sparrow's doing some pretty good damage. A lot of the orange side, they're very low. The arrows do a little bit of chip damage to Marty, but yeah, it's just not enough to get the tower. And well, I missed a kill, guys. It was bound to happen sometime, even though I have missed a few before, but that one I really didn't have any excuse for. Faye picks one up inside near the black buff and gets hit in the face with the rock, but she's going to pull two in with the fly trap. And
there isn't any other follow-up.
Yeah, no follow-up. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. There was no follow-up to go on the blue heroes. It was a nice ultimate from her, but in the end, maybe Orange can even push this in a little bit.
Yeah, Team Meme. I'm gonna cut out the Suprememe from their name for that for the time being. Team Memes. They like their memes. They've got a pretty decent start with Feng Mao having the 12 points and the 2 kills. That's going to be really good for Feng Mao. Feng Mao is a champ that really needs a snowball because he doesn't have any sort of strong CC. He's got a slow, but where he shines is if he's got that lead with his damage, because then he can just take out any carries from the early games of the team in team fights, and that's what he really needs in these stages. Whereas Sir on the rampage, he's going to want to be a disruptor more than anything. He's going to be disrupting the team fights. He's going to be standing there. He's going to be big. He's going to be punching and trying to do as much damage as he can. But ultimately, he's not going to be the one to kill anyone. He's going to be there to set it up for iCameron, for Marty to ult, and for Gideon to combo along with him.
Has he played like that, though? Because in the last fight, it seemed like he was mainly just the battering ram to go for the tower. And he didn't really seem like he was setting anything up for his team. He was just kind of sitting there waiting to take some damage and then going away, making sure that his team had the tower.
Yeah, essentially what he did is he lets his team to just pummel damage into other things. He's going to tank the tower for as long as he can, then jump out and try to regen a little bit, and then he's going to jump back in, hopefully.
Faye has made her way over to the mid lane. She's putting some good damage onto Talkfoot, pulls him back with the Phoenix Fly Trap. He tried to get away with his portal already, but it wasn't enough. And now, here comes Grux, clapping his hands. They're going to put the black hole down, and Faye cannot get out because she's getting body blocked. Howitzer also looking for things on the other side of us. Cameron, he's going forward. He wants to go in on this. Notosick. Oh, it's just a Sparrow, and she's got no backup behind her. Maybe a little bit of a Muriel, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. She drops some arrows down, but it's not even close. And Notosick is going to be the second kill in that fight. And while all that's happening, we might even see a go on... Well, we actually have a couple of wards here, and Rampage is going to be farming a little bit. Probably won't go on this tier 1 tower for a bit, but the pressure is still there.
I suspect they're going to want to dive this.
Oh, Steel ultimate. He just goes right onto Arsenic and dive it. They will. Talkflit, he's getting hit a little bit by a guy on meds. That's kind of weird. They do manage to kill the Steel. And do they get anything else here? They're very close to the tower, not a lot of room to maneuver, and a guy on meds proves to be more than enough damage to take down the Steel.
While it was a 1-for-1 right there, Team Meme gets a bit more of advantage because they get Sir, who hadn't died yet. So they get a slight bit, it's the marginal of advantage in global XP, but Talkflit, they didn't get the tower. That's what they originally went for. They got a good pick with really good synergy, but no damage was on that tower. So you could say that's the meme team came out ahead in that fight.
And I think that's the most important thing that came out of that fight. Like you said, maybe Beast's a little bit more valuable, but there's no tower kill, which is really what Team Oxygen needed after that fight. I think. Or even if there wasn't a fight, they just really wanted the tower.
Meds is he's pretty strong right now. He's sitting at 80 points with 3 kills. Pretty decent bounty on him. He's gonna be what decides a lot of these fights, I reckon, in the early stages for Team Meme. They're gonna want to use him to his full advantage. Just try get all that damage down, and hopefully use Tricks After Kids ultimate with the Faye, just to combo along with Feng Mao's ultimate, and it should pose well. And Tuck Flip gonna recall right now. He's gonna go spend his points, sitting on a beefy 6 points.
Yeah, this
And
game is so
hopefully we get to see a
interesting
fight.
with the different personality that they add. So you talked about how they're recalling back. Um, I liked the Fang animation when he's like smoking the bong as he leaves while standing on his pike. I think some of the personality that Epic puts into their game makes it so much more fulfilling to play and a lot more fun. And I actually can't wait until they add in like voice lines for the different heroes.
I think they have some sounds for some of the heroes, but not too much. I can't remember too much on who has the voices, but there's a few little quips here and there in like the chat. But hopefully we get a few more coming up soon. And Oxygen, free black buff, but look at the vision control from Team Meme. That is a defensive lineup of wards, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, defensive it may be, but Togfoot he might have to be a defensive right now, as there's a couple heroes going over to his lane. Leighton's here to try to get the smash and grab. He'll pull back Fang into the fight, but Fang, he's pretty tanky, and he's got lots of ways to get out of this. Marty Rivera, he's there to try to help out. Fang, he tries to get away from the steal, but it's not enough when that guy can just jump right on your face, laying down the wall. Murdoch comes in with the laser. They pull a couple heroes back with the fly trap, but there's just no pursuit from them, and they can't really pull him back in. A couple heroes might escape from the black hole, but some people cannot. They get pulled in with another smash and grab. Leighton, he's just going right for it. Arsenic, he might be dying. Certified, he's whining. He's slamming. He's trying to punch him, but he's taking too much damage from the tower and has to get out of range. Talkfoot, yeah, that's enough damage. They've taken down 4. And they've also taken the tower, maybe even thinking about going further on this lane. They do have to worry a little bit about the creeps getting pushed out somewhat by Sparrow, but they'll put the shield down, kind of stop this counter push from her a little bit. And I think they're doing some good damage. Maybe they go for 2. They clear the creeps. Steel tanks it up a little bit, and they do manage to take 2. So they turn a big team fight for them into a good map advantage.
Yeah, Oxygen completely punishing them. They got that black buff, which is how they took those towers extremely quickly. Cameron with beautiful quadra kill in that fight, just completely sweeping up Team Suprememe. I'm gonna try. And Cameron now 27 points, nearly double what the enemy team has right now, and gonna be tricky. Cameron is a pretty big beast right now with the double stuff of adamants with that health bonuses on them. I like the build. It's different to what you see a lot of build. It gives him some health in the early games. So he's got that survivability along with a hell of a lot of damage. And now he's gone for that meltdown. Gives him the 16 energy pen that he needs. And he's putting some major casts in it. So expect a lot more damage coming out of him in the next fight.
Yeah, I'll definitely look forward to it. Definitely going to be interesting. And after all those fights, looks like Cameron, like, he's just actually very far ahead right now. Like, talking about a little bit, he's got some very early card points, and this kind of translate into some very good pushing, taking the objectives around the map, and this farm doesn't really stop. Maybe we'd like to see them get a bit more XP, but right now, I mean, with that Murdoch on this fight, as long as they don't give him up too early, Team Oxygen, they've definitely got the advantage here.
Yeah, Oxygen, what they're going to be wanting to do right now is place some deep wards in the jungle, clear out any other vision that Team Meme has placed, and try and get some sort of map rotation so they can try and get this advantage as soon as possible, because they need to keep pressuring on Team Meme. They want to force Meme to make mistakes. They want to force Meme to make decisions they don't want to make, i.e. choosing to defend or fight at the OP buff or not. Forcing people to make high risk, high reward plays is how you win this, because most of the time, if it's high risk, it's not going to go in your favor. And that's exactly what Oxygen wants. They want to take all these low risk fights. They want to just take this tower. It's completely low risk. They've got the ward control. They can take it, and it gives them a good reward as well.
Yeah, and Team Suprememe, they're just having so much trouble contesting this. They're just so scared to go in. Positioning around the map isn't so good. They will have the Muriel there if in a reversal of fortune if they need it, but this tower just cannot stand. And iCamera, he's just so farmed at this point. Like, come on, guys. This is actually sort of ridiculous how much farm he has. He's doing extremely well.
Yeah, he's going to be the #1 target for them. They're going to want to try combo the Howie Faye combo onto him, and even then, they have to deal with the rest of the team. Leighton can pretty much take any 1v1 fight right now. That Grux is going to be a huge menace to deal with, even if you can deal with iCameron. And the smash and grab he's been hitting some perfect smash and grabs this fight that have just pulled 2 to 3 people out every single time in every fight out of position.
The team's kind of duking it right now. 4 towers taken for Team Oxygen, only 0 taken for Team Suprememe. That seems like a much lower number to me, right?
Yeah, it's the nature of the game. Once you get the 1 kill, if you can transition that into a couple of towers, that's when you get the snowball. The global XP from all the towers, along with the kills you get, you can use to get a huge advantage. Now, Oxygen, they've managed to get some vision in the enemy jungle, but Team Suprememe has been doing pretty well in clearing that out.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of clearing out wards, using the abilities to do it so they don't actually spend too much effort on it. They don't want to get too close in case they get ganked. They just clear it from afar, being very smart with their plays. And at this point in the game, like you say, a couple mistakes, they could be devastating. And a guy on meds, try not to make any of those as Marty Rivera chases him away from the jungle.
And I love what Oxygen's done. It's hit the 18-minute mark. All the camps are spawning. You've got iCameron taking black while the rest of his team has placed vision and taking the enemy red. And now, if a fight breaks out, we're probably going to see a 5-on-5 fight in this jungle.
Well, I think after they take the advantage, Team Oxygen, they just want to get out. They don't really feel like hitting into Team Suprememe in a choke point, so they're just going to be as safe as they can.
And Oxygen, again, taking the other side of the jungle. They're just going to go
to try and get as much.
Yeah, they're going to try and get as much advantage as they can, but Team Suprememe doesn't want to let them. They want to try and get this in a position where it's good for them in the jungle.
Yeah, Feng Mao to the high ground, going for a cut across, but he's been a bit too late. And Team Oxygen, they're still getting the advantage within this. They couldn't caught in the choke point. A couple of heroes getting brought back in with the Ivy, and there's a slam onto a few. Laser takes him down, and Natosick caught in the black hole, and he's going to die there thanks to Talkfoot.
Yeah, they took that fight in the worst possible spot. They wanted to take it earlier in the jungle, then they can use and stuff. But that choke point is just horrible to fight in. You just get all the combos. You get the shield slam, the rampage rock flying, the smash and grab, and you can't escape them. You can't move to the left or to the right. You can only move backwards, and that's ideal for them.
Well, I also think a pretty big thing about that fight was the fact that Team Oxygen, they had a lot more room to maneuver. They were kind of like in the lane, a lot more space to move around, and that really led to them being able to control that, because Faye, she kind of excels at choke point battles, but in that one she wasn't able to get enough because Team Oxygen were able to move a couple of their heroes so far back away from that.
Yeah, they needed to fight that a lot sooner if they were going to fight in the jungle. And they were out of position. Oxygen rotated so much quicker than them, and it just allowed them to take the positional advantage in that fight. It was completely down to where they were standing. And just look at the card point leads. iCameron 33, he's going to be strong. None of these builds are sort of anything sort of unnormal that you would see in a lot of teams. A lot of standard builds across both teams. Tricks are for kids. The Solaris Reactor is pretty solid item. It gets that little bit of mana regen, so you can get potentially an extra spell to rotation in the fights. And Spike, the Nidosic, standard Sparrow build with the cheap Thorn with Spike Bone Plates to get that early game advantage, but it's not been working out.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an early game advantage at all. Her team and herself are pretty far behind at this point. They have yet to take a tower, and they're just holding on to one of their own.
Yeah, they've got that one left tower, but I'd argue this is when Oxygen, they're going to use some of the vision they have in Team Suprememe's jungle, and now they're going to either set up for that left tower or they're going to go for the prime buff. They're going to want to try and force another fight because they're going to win them in terms of strength if they group up right now, and so the Orb Prime is ideal for them.
Still hanging around the map. Looks like Orange, they're going to be grouping up a little bit here inside the jungle, maybe catching out a Rampage, but can you exactly catch out a Rampage? I mean, if you really think about it.
Not easily. You can, if you can. Ideally, when you're dealing with a Rampage, what you want to do is force his ultimate. Even if you can't kill him, if you know there's a fight that's going to happen and you can catch him in that sense, force his ultimate, and then in the next fight you have a slight advantage because he won't have that health regen.
This seems like a play for Prime, right? Because they're just zoning
100%.
Team Suprememe out, making sure that they can't really go in. Grux and Murdoch gonna go ham, and the rest of the team very tanky. Dual tank with Steel and Rampage, just kind of zoning out Team Suprememe. Like, they're gonna have to engage on this, and it's gonna take so long to win that battle that there's just not really anything that they can do at this point.
Yeah, Tokflit and Marty, they're on duty to stall. They're the stalling duty. Marty's just going to drop a shield. Tokflit's just going to drop meteors on their heads, and they're going to take that orb and just run away, basically. So they don't want to. They want to take the safe route and not force a fight, because if they lose a fight here, which is unlikely, but if they do, they give a huge advantage away. Instead, they're going to back up, drop the orb in a safe fight where they can control what happens.
Alright, so the orb denied from Team Suprememe, and all the advantage right now. Looks like B Certified is pretty happy about it. Just kind of jumping around here. Very happy as a Rampage. He's happy to jump around. Have a little bit of fun here in game number 1 of this best of 3 set in the semifinals.
Yeah, it's Team Oxygen. It was a bit of a rocky start. Iron Meds had a really good start, but hasn't been able to help the rest of his team catch up to where he was in the early stages of the game, and it's looking a bit tricky right now. We're going to be expecting a big 5v5 fight now happening in this left lane, and if they can get the orb down before the fight, Oxygen are most likely going to have a huge advantage. But if by any chance Marty dies or goes out of position, we could see a turnaround. But it's going to be up to Arsenic and Faye to just get that combo down 100%. And just if they can get that combo down, I feel like they could potentially win. But
yeah, but it's gonna have to definitely depend on the combo.
They've backed up, which is I'm not a big fan of, because Rampage at that point can just jump in and drop the orb. They should have started a fight a lot further up.
Yeah, so they'll drop the meteor on the Feng Mao. A couple of vines placed down by the Fae, but yeah, this Feng Mao, he's gonna get taken down very quickly. No reversal of fortune, and only shields. And Marty Rivia, he's gone right in, smash and grab onto a few. Long arm of the Lam, just going all the way right into Team Suprememe, and this team fight is too much for them to handle. 3 down, orb dropped off, 5 alive for Team Oxygen Esports, and they're hitting fast and hard. This game, it's looking very difficult to him, and actually Rampage just goes right in. Not a sick hit with a little bit of damage there. She's kind of stuck there, and Marty, he's going to go right for it with the punches. Another smash and grab off the mark from Leighton, but the tower is down. Cameron, new products from Apple. You heard it here first. They're going to be coming this spring.
Yeah, they let Oxygen do what they wanted. They should have started, if they were going to go for a last-ditch fight, they should have started it a lot sooner to stop them at least getting the orb for free before anything had happened. Trying to fight that choke point, as I mentioned, Rampage was run and jump it in extremely quickly, and then they have to fight against 5 with Orb Prime, and that's not what they wanted at all.
All right, so Team Oxygen, they're going to back up right now with all those members of Team Suprememe.
They're gonna have a tough time right now. They've got that inhib down, no orb to bring their inhib back up. It's on Oxygen, and another black buff. They're going to use that along with, I don't know how long's on their Orb Prime. We can't actually see, can we?
No, we can't. That would be a good thing to know.
So it'd be nice to see how long they have on that orb. I expect it's around the range of about 60 to 80 seconds currently, considering when it got taken. So hopefully they can get another push with it, maybe not. And they got 1 inhib, so I'd like to see Oxygen, rather than pushing mid, push right. Right inhib is going to be where they're going to want to set up this next fight. It's the furthest away from the left lane, so if anyone has to deal with it, it's going to be Muriel trying to do her best to keep it pushing, and then hopefully ult in with the reversal of fortune. But right lane is the most optimal position because no one can travel that far across the map while they push it.
You know, the thing though is for Team Oxygen, they didn't end the game. Like, all those heroes were respawning. They really couldn't push the core, so there's still a chance here for Team Suprememe. The game is not over yet. They still have a couple ways to get into this fight. They have a good team fight to kind of lay their back on, so they just need to make sure they can execute, which has really been their problem this whole game. Like, they have the aggression they need. They just need to be able to work together as a team.
Yeah, the problem is they don't have any sort of... Their engage is reliant on Tricksup Kids hitting that Fey ultimate with Flag Trap. And that's going to be really tricky because he's not the tankiest of players. He's got essentially no health or anything. He's got mana regen and damage, and that's not going to bode well for them right now. And it looks like they're going Oxygen aimed for splitting them up in 2 lanes.
Yeah, teams are just kind of splitting up. Rampage over on the right lane. Arsenic trying to keep him out. But the rest of the team, they're over on mid. It's not very long to Joe. No, the pullback on the Faye. He was waiting for it, and they just managed to take her down so quickly. That's huge for them. It's so much team fight that Team Suprememe aren't going to have now, and it's chaos all over the place. Rampage jumps in. He doesn't care. He's going to go right for it. Steal ultimate. He's in on one. A guy on meds. Well, he's a guy on deads right now. Godspeed, man. Godspeed. At least the Rampage is now died. There's going to be a black hole on the other side, and it's not going to get canceled. Enough damage from Toxic. Nanosif, he's dead. And Hauser trying to do every single thing he can from the higher ground, hitting them with the missiles, hitting everything. Sparrow at least goes to high ground and can get that travel mode up to get away. But that's 2 inhibitors down and even more aggression from Team Oxygen.
Yeah, that pick at the beginning was exactly what Leighton wanted. They're going to be using that to seal this first game. Team Oxygen taking it 1-0 in this best of 3, and hopefully... Wait, are they going to defend this?
I think they're trying to defend. It's only a Steel trying to smack the tower down with his punches. There's a couple of super creeps in there, and indeed it will be 1-0. Co-caster stealing my line, but it is indeed going to be the first game going the way of Team Oxygen.
Oxygen completely controlled that game after the first couple of fights in the left side, and well, while Team Suprememe showed loads of signs of being able to take control of this game with a good early start, Oxygen recuperated, came back, and fought even stronger, and it was a really good match in general. And I can't wait to see the next round of this match when it comes to if they can change their pick and ban phase, because that's going to be crucial for this. If they can get if Team Suprememe can change who they pick for their composition, because I felt like they had a good comp. They had the superior comp, I feel, but they couldn't execute it. So if they can keep up that pick and ban phase but execute it well, I think they can put up a really good fight.
So perhaps we will see a better draft from Team Suprememe in game number 2. But that's going to do it for game number 1. Team Oxygen with the 1-0 lead. I'm Pythian. He's Gems. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter. Comments in the chat. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be right back with game number 2. Stay classy.